This is not the film festival.
It's personal, purely personal. What
This is an homage to film.
But that would be a great film for me. Please record every second of it.
Just wait till you hear Feridoon.
That doesn't happen. It happens only once in 5 years.
That's not fair. I have to do this with a mask. I mean, but anyway, I'll do my best. Now, under the shadowy threat of rotation, usually foisted on staff without consultation, another valued colleague opted to stray away. His decision for us alike to doomsday. We are not at all happy to see Feridoon leave and consider this as something to grieve. But as sad as this void is, we have a confession. We are ultimately pleased with Feridoon's career progression. A higher grade will soon be under his belt. Our satisfaction with this very much heartfelt, given that we can provide a definite affirmation that Feridoon is one of a kind in terms of dedication. He gave us and our region the very best and worked day in, day out with a lot of zest. The fact that he is known to be quite proactive made him also as a candidate for MAC quite attractive. Another fact brings us some consolation that MAC will be his new job destination. For us there, he will be our ambassador and thus help us the mysteries of IOM's financial management explore. In particular, the complicated world of IGF finance may Feridoon our overall understanding enhance. As a colleague who was like a dream,
Sky is crying. Don't continue.
this was for particular emphasis. As a colleague, he was like a dream and a great asset to the entire regional office team. Vienna duties were not always easy, enough to make any man's stomach turn queasy. He arrived and found out that his first Vienna director turned out to be a former general inspector. But inspector skills she did not have to apply because Feridoon ensured nothing went awry. He experienced in this great city of the Kaiser to work twice with the very same supervisor. In between, there were turbulences, some of which had consequences. In the Vienna office, he had many a friend to help with the myriad of issues to mend. He excelled in dealing with our greatest diva, the increasing demands received from Geneva. Doing more with less was a mantra from HQ, which gave everyone a lot on which to chew. He steered us through an office move, outcome of which we do approve. Problems such as those we saw in Ukraine at times was a cause for particular strain. He also had to deal with the aimless theft, which left IOM Moscow quite bereft. Over the accounts did he preside. From him there was absolutely nothing to hide. He dealt efficiently with our budget always, even this was sometimes a craze. This budget he protected just like a wizard to ensure that headquarters didn't get it scissored. Feridoon effected so many a training, so good no never thought of complaining. He did a first Gaziantep training on procurement, professionalizing IOM on this part of the allurement. A master was he of a thorough checklist, which all of his endeavors helped to assist. Talented was he in human resources, rules of which he always enforces. Over time, he oversaw many a staff's upgrading, which often took a hell of a lot of persuading. On HR and issues, Feridoon was always fair, a quality which is rather rare. He was always helped, advised, and supported, something that should not go unreported. Then came the biggest ever challenge, which he then also had to manage, the sudden outbreak of COVID-19, which brought some of us into quarantine. We learned the ins and outs of home-based work, for some a problem, for others a perk. Within a few weeks, we were no longer office commuters, but relied heavily on communication through our computers. To Feridoon, we were grateful always, that he stood his ground in any craze. Feridoon is a man of very much skill. Supervisor expectations he can certainly fulfill. As a colleague, he was circumspect and wise, and that's why this career star is now on the rise. As a very general rule, we always admire Feridoon school. Throughout our region from Central Asia, over and through all of Caucasia, from southeastern Europe to the Mediterranean shore, he brought to their RO team support galore. I'm not finished yet. Something more. Before going to Manila on his own migration, there are some memories for activation. What Feridoon never did forsake was the routine of his regular breakfast break. For Eva to deal with his set of tea china, he gave a definite no and decliner. His inherited potted plants like crazy growed, because on them his green thumb he bestowed. With or without a well-cut beard, he in both ways in the office appeared. It can be said, it's not exaggerated, that he came to work always color coordinated. Feridoon is a man of good taste fashion, into which he invested some personal passion. More often than not did his co-workers perceive an elegant cufflink gracing his sleeve. To Bamberg he liked to go for his shopping, to which then there was no further stopping. Of Willhaben and Duratorium he was also a fan, sites which he visits just as often as he can. Less successful was his quest to buy a Persian carpet, for which he did not manage to find a good market. His Mercedes with low mileage he did finally sell, even though there was no appropriate clientele. A lot of colleagues still give him a toast, acknowledged is he as a very good host. What we do now want to recall, a great colleague he was to us all. For me, Feridoon has been a great comrade in arms, while exerting most gentlemanly charms. Feridoon is a great colleague who will be missed by all staff, professional to the very last paragraph. To work with Feridoon has been a great pleasure. For everything we found the appropriate measure. The MAC has made a very good deal in getting someone with such great zeal. For his future career we wish him the best, that in his new job he may not be too stressed, that MAC appreciates their new staff acquisition and continue to give him the deserved recognition. We wish you every professional and personal bliss, a respected colleague and friend whom we will sorely miss. With these last words that we come to a close, the time with you here has been grandiose.
Thank you very, very much. I don't know if still the social distancing lets me to
Let's
ask you
break
more
all
about
the rules.